of them and
Say that again. You watched 3 of what?
I watched 3 of them, and that was probably like the. They keep it the same though. They only run cover 4, so.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at it. First off, I've been having issues with Huddle and Zoom. How smooth is it on your guys' end right now?
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay. How about you, Jake?
Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So, Wyatt, I would agree with you. Just like first look at this defense, try to make it the widest. Ooh, sorry, hold on.
Well, what they run is a cover two read, so it could be a 2 or a 4 based off what number 2 does.
Based off what number 2 does.
The receiver, the slot, yeah.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
So, the corners are reading number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 goes out to the flat, he'll sit. If number 2 goes vertical, he'll go to number 1.
I like it. Yeah. Love that analysis. Good to know. Yeah. Okay, so the boundary, they have like a little curl flat, the running back and the isolated receiver. And then to the field, we've got hitch seam with a stick. So against quarters, I guess against quarters, the curl flat is a good look. But with your analysis, Wyatt, you need to be aware of how the corner and the backer play that, because if corner sees flat, right, you just said, let's go back to that play really quick. The corner sees flat, and maybe this is just to the field, but boundary corner, running back is immediately going to the flat. He's got free release, but he sinks. So I'm just kind of seeing what I'm seeing right now, and not saying your analysis is wrong, because that's just the first play of the drive. I do see the too high look. Corners are off. Playing outside leverage. Eyes are inside in the backfield. Oh, now it does kind of look like he's got eyes for the receiver. Wyatt, how have you guys been practicing this week? Like what plays have you been focusing on? What formations have you been focusing on? Has it kind of just been a combination of everything, or anything specific?
Yeah, we've done a lot of doubles and trips. We're trying to attack the number 30, the safety at the bottom.
Okay.
And yep, and then the outside linebacker. Because he reads run first. So we think we could pass on him a lot.
Okay. I like it.
Once you get behind those linebackers, like they can't really see behind them. So these digs and curls and stuff are open a lot. So
okay. So he kind of just floats. Right? He's got a vertical threat. DB ends up bailing. Flat is very open to the field. The one thing about Palos Verdes, yes, they do run a lot of cover 4. I remember watching all the film with Culver City and prepping for PV. Their corners love to bail. So curls, outs, hitches, those are great throws. Attacking the flats, there's a throw to the flat right there. It's not ran really traditionally like a flat route, but it's ran like a drag, but it's attacking the flat zone. Though that's open against them, right? They play a lot of off coverage. Here you see it again, right? Too high, off coverage, right? Pre-snap, this is like cover 4 all the way. I love the 5. Oops, that's a terrible straight line. Love the 5-yard out with the MOR go on the outside. I even like slant flat, right? And just using him as your flat defender because he's probably going to follow number 2 for at least a bit. MJ, what's up, dude? Are you in the session still? Yes, you are. Can you hear me?
I'm here, Coach. Yeah.
How's the feedback right now for you film-wise? Is it smooth or is it choppy?
Yeah, it's a little bit choppy.
It's a little bit choppy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Jake and Wyatt, is it still okay for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, still good.
Whoop, just got choppy for me. Hold on. Okay, so Jake, I'll kind of give the mic to you here for a second. What are we seeing again that's consistent with the defensive backs? So our corners here.
They're playing about 10 yards off.
Yeah, they're playing pretty deep, right? There's 2 high safeties right now. There's 2 high safeties. What is like when you see 2 high safeties, what are the things that come to mind for you?
2 high safeties.
Yeah, pre-snap, when you see a 2 high safety look, what comes to mind to you?
Probably attack the middle of the field.
Okay, I like it. Attack the middle of the field. Especially like and anything else? Any other openings?
Probably the flats too, like you were saying.
Okay, especially if these corners are off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as we see that 2 high safety look, these corners are off. We do see that a backer comes down and walks down. They've got 5 down on the line of scrimmage. I've got a tight end attached right now, and in terms of the box, I would consider him to be in the box still. Are we protected? Like if we were to throw the football here, are we protected? This question is for everybody.
Oh,
Anyone can answer.
No.
Who just said no?
Me.
MJ, how many guys do we have on the line of scrimmage?
5.
We have a tight end attached. Are we protected?
yeah. 7
Oh,
on
yeah.
7.
We're 7 for 7. Okay, we're 7 for 7. Now, right now, to the field side, like, how many options do we have right now?
A lot.
Like, we could, like, we can throw a little hitch route, we can throw a slant route, we can throw an out route, we can throw an in route. We have a lot of options to be able to throw the ball quickly and just get the football to these both of these receivers. I would almost consider uncovered because the DBs are just so far off.
Coach.
Let's see what they end up doing here.
Ooh.
So they end up basically RPOing. They run an RPO here. So, and it's basically like I like to call it still a slant flat read because you're still reading that outside backer here, right? And to be honest with you, this is not the right read. Unless he's being told to read this middle backer, which wouldn't really make sense to me. But anyways, they end up throwing it, and he's still able to throw that post right behind this flat defender. Wyatt, you're right. He's, could be somebody to really take advantage of.
Yeah,
He's not really covering very well. He's not really, there's definitely opportunity. I wouldn't be too worried about him sinking underneath my outs, taking away my slants, taking away my curls, right? I would feel confident in reading him as my key, as my flat defender in those situations, especially if your number 1 has a vertical threat, because you said that the corner is most likely going to bail if he gets attacked vertically. And I would agree, especially with his pre-snap leverage that they're showing so consistently, this off coverage. I do want to go back. Whoops, there's maybe a one high look. I thought I saw a one high look earlier. Here.
Yeah, they rolled the safety down a couple times.
Okay, so even with that being said, despite the fact that this safety comes down, he's robbing, right? He's basically just kind of covering the middle of the field. But to the field side, you have the same exact coverage that you see when they show their traditional two high. They're going to play the same technique. He's bailing. He's going to try to protect the deep middle and like on the hash. And he's basically responsible for doing his best to take care of number two. But look at how far off he is. They have so much separation away from their receivers. So again, I think throwing the football to the flat in this situation, like, do you see how this corner just has eyes for number one?
Yeah.
Like, I love the 5 yard out here. I love, like, if you guys run seam, how do I undo? Hold on. If you guys run like 5 yard in with an inside fade or inside seam, I love this throw here, right? And trust that that backer over number two is going to carry vertically.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
Our coach was saying, like, we're not going to throw a lot of outs this week because the corners are disciplined and they'd probably sit on that. But
okay, well, hey, you know, if you do get the opportunity to, I would feel confident that against PV, especially if your outside guys are pressing vertically, that you can throw that out, especially if they're showing off coverage pre-snap.
We have to make sure the corners are in.
Yes, 1,000%. 1,000%. I would almost, I would have full confidence that your number two receiver is going to be able to create separation from their linebackers that are over them.
Yeah.
And I would just like you said, just be making sure that that defensive back, that corner over number one is bailing, and just make that read. And especially to the field, I would think that they're going to give you that, like, they're going to sink. Because look at in this situation, how the safety is playing number two. Right. So with that being said, that means that defensive back knows he has no safety help on this coverage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You see how he turns his head here too? Basically just playing man technique. So he has to respect that vertical threat. Your coach is absolutely right. You got to be aware of that corner. But I would feel confident throwing to the flats. That's just. So talk to me a little bit more. Remind me again a little bit more about what you guys are going to be running. Have been practicing this week.
Yeah. So we have a lot of new plays, like I don't know.
You're breaking up. Could you repeat yourself?
Oh, like dig routes and curls.
Dig routes and curls. Okay, I love the curls. I love the digs.
A
Do
lot
you have any underneath threats with the digs?
Nah, not with the dig, but.
Do you have a play action that's maybe bringing linebackers down?
Yeah, we have play actions on slants. We have some hitches.
Okay. Well, I definitely feel very confident throwing those hitches and those slants. And you know, is that play action for the slant? Is that an RPO?
No.
It's just a straight play action. And how is that slant being ran? In what formation?
Like a quick post.
Quick post. So
like
about 8 yards. It's being ran at about 8 yards. Okay. Sorry, I'm repeating you because you're just kind of breaking up on my end, and I'm not sure if you're breaking up for the other guys as well. Okay. And out of what formation is it being ran?
Usually trip, right?
Trips
or
right. And,
trips on the left, and then we'll throw it to the one-on-one matchup.
okay, sweet. Okay, so think of this situation right here as that post.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is this a good look to throw that post?
Probably not.
Okay, so what do you have to the backside?
Of that post play.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just run streets.
What about your running back?
He's the one getting the play action, so he's gonna go block after.
Okay, so what are you going to do here?
It's a one read play, so I just have to get the ball off quick.
Okay, what I would suggest, if you feel like you're forced to throw this football because the safety is standing right on the hash. Now,
Yeah,
if he's running the post and maybe the back is coming from this side and you're reading him,
I can make that.
that's a great look. Now,
Yeah.
I think when these guys have been running the post this week at practice, have you been running it against this type of a look?
No.
No. How have you been running it? Against the one high look when the safety comes down?
No, it's still been that look, but not with the safety far over like that.
Okay, so he's more inside the hash.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
it's more, coach calls it a slant, so I
So
guess
it's-
he gets.
is he
Right.
coming more? I would hope he's coming flatter.
Well, he's breaking a little sooner.
Okay.
So in this example, probably like at the opposite 48, maybe. And
Okay. So like right around in here.
Yeah, angling right there.
Got it. Okay. So you're just really you're keying in on him.
And I just have to go rip it.
Yep. You got to rip it and you got to keep him flat, right in the gut, keep him protected. But he's got
Yeah.
this outside leverage, and you should feel confident that he's going to get this free release. He's just got to get behind that backer.
Yeah.
If he's not there, is he going to bend in if he's got a too high look?
Probably. Coach we don't really have like backside routes. It's kind of like that or nothing.
Okay, got it. Well, I think for the rest of the guys, in a perfect world, if we have the double vert on the backside, we'd love for that number 2 receiver to split the safeties, especially if this receiver here is running a route that could potentially occupy the backside safety. That creates a one-on-one matchup between the number 2 and that field side safety. I'd probably eliminate this outside go. Why is that, MJ?
Because corner's playing off and he has safety help right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, safety help potentially would make it so that he potentially could cover the flat. If, say, this safety was down, sorry, I've got a lot of drawing here. Say that safety was down, that would give me more confidence that he's going to for sure bail. But based on the coverage that they've been playing throughout the game so far, he's been bailing with vertical threats.
Yeah.
And the only time he's really attacked the flat is, I think, we've maybe seen once, because he was, the flat was attacked. Oh, see, there you go. Here's a perfect situation right here. He freezes up, and number 2 attacks the flat and breaks down, and he breaks down. I still feel, though, that, is that a completion if the ball's out now to this flat? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that they may be reading the flat and breaking on the flat, doesn't mean that they can get to the flat.
Yeah, you have to. Well, it looks like it's not open. It still could be open.
Oh, for sure. If he takes any sort of initial, good play. If he makes any sort of initial bail,
Yeah.
with into coverage, rip the flat. Make him make his decision sooner to get to the flat. Take the 6 yards while you can, because Wyatt, let's be honest right now. PV very likely is the better program. I'm not trying to sound like a
No,
downer,
no,
but
no, you're-
they're the better program. I think.
we'll find out.
We'll find out. I agree. But we very likely are going to have to get rid of the ball quickly.
Yeah,
Maybe
definitely.
that's what I'm trying to say.
No,
Okay.
for sure. 'Cause
And
I'm gonna have a little pressure.
I would agree. And so trust the off coverage and trust your underneath threats that you can throw. Okay.
Mhm.
I think that's all I'm trying to get at with that point. See, there's your out. I think that's the right decision there.
Yeah. It was a good play, but
1, 2, 3. I think it can be thrown with a little more drive and towards the sideline. Slows up the receiver just a tad. I also saw a bit of a different coverage. I'm seeing the middle of the field close. Like, let's see how many they've got. 6 guys down. Okay, so they've got to have another safety over here. So this is still that quarters coverage where corner, just like Wyatt said, is see here, they don't get to the flat. So I would say trust that the backers are going to carry vertically, and you have to read the corners to see whether or not they're going to take the flat or play over the top. Too high again, corners off, backers inside. I love the leverage for these outs. Inside seam with the 5-yard in. Even a stick, little stick route. Play action. Got to read the corner. This is the right decision. It's just a tough throw.
yeah,
This is basically a smash concept that's being ran.
just high-low the corner.
Yep. I'd like to see him maybe set up, and not feel like I think you can set up and throw this, but hey, that's a tough throw there. You got somebody in your face. Okay, here's your high-low read. So same coverage as they've been showing before. Too high, corners are off. Pretty consistent. They're in 3-by-1 again. And we've got our drag and our dig. Jake, if you're reading this high-low here, who would you key on? How would you read this? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I would probably hit the dig route, honestly.
Okay, so how would you, so like, say like you haven't seen the play yet and you're reading this pre-snap. Are you reading defenders? How are you reading this post-snap once you get the ball?
I'm reading the safety.
Which one?
On the left side or right side.
This one?
I guess. Yeah, this one.
Okay, so yeah, left side, right? So from the quarterback's perspective, left side. Okay. So would you say you bring your eyes like here? In that kind of tunnel vision, or are you just bringing your eyes to that safety?
Just bring my eyes to that safety.
Okay, are you doing anything else after that? Or is he going to determine your read?
And I'm probably reading that number 9, that outside linebacker.
Okay, I like it. So what I would think of is ideally, I know this sounds crazy, but we want to take the drag. Ideally, we want to take the drag. And the reason for that is because if these guys drop into coverage like they should, because they're in zone, the drag should be the open throw. And I could see why you maybe want to have your eyes on the safety, but I would focus a little bit more so on the linebacker that the drag is attacking. And the reason for that is because the drag, and actually before I explain it, would either MJ or Wyatt like to explain why he's your key, that outside backer, number 9?
Because he's in that zone. curl
Talk
to
a little more
flat.
about that zone.
Curl to flat. So he'll
Not
have to make a
not quite
decision.
curl to flat, Wyatt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say curl to flat.
Hook to curl.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say he's curl flat. Sorry, but
Yeah.
that's not the concept, right? So, could you maybe
Uh,
talk a little bit more about how the play? I'm trying to have you explain it the right way to Jake.
Yeah.
How is the play impacting that defender, and why does that make it our read?
So the play is designed to pick on him because he's gonna do one of two things. He's either gonna sit and go with the drag across the field,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when he would throw the dig,
Mm-hmm.
or he'll turn his hips or drop back into into where the dig's going.
Mm-hmm.
That's when
And
he would go.
it's one of two. And what are we trusting that his vertical threat is going to do to this safety?
Push him back.
We're gonna trust that his vertical threat is gonna cause him to bail and sink
Mhm.
into coverage. So Jake, I think the safety is definitely part of the play, but I wouldn't focus on him as much because we really need to play with the level of the linebackers to determine the high-low for this high-low, because this is like a first and second level high-low with the drag and the dig. If we had a post involved with this, which I actually haven't even watched the rest of the play to determine if we do, which we do, okay, then that's your third level high-low. And that's where the safety could be involved. But in this situation, the drag is being hit, and just to start with the first level and the second level, let's see if this is the right decision here. You said earlier that you would hit the dig. Sorry, next play. So number 9 he kind of sinks, but he doesn't sink that much. And I would say that your dig window is there. And MJ, there isn't a Culver City guy in here right now, but I'll tell you one thing that Culver City is struggling so much with, and that is the speed of their drag routes. Because where do we want the drag route? Where's the catch point ideally for the drag route against zone, MJ?
Like near the hash.
Yeah, I'd say near the hash, or at minimum outside the play side tackle. And play side, by play side, I mean where the drag and the dig are crossing. So in this situation, it's to the left. I want him to get outside of the tackle because I really want him to, throughout this area here, Jake, I'll ask you this. What do we, throughout this area here, when they're running through like linebackers, what do I want them focusing on? Do I want them focusing on me and them and me throwing them the football, or do I want them focusing on getting through those linebackers?
Are you getting those linebackers?
Absolutely, because when they're running through that linebacker level, those guys can chip them. Right, within 5 yards, they can chip them and create contact with them, and that can really throw off our drag. And we want the dig and the drag, the mesh point, like when they're crossing each other, to happen right where that backer is dropping into coverage. Right in that first window here. And here I would say that the dig and the drag are not getting ready to cross in the right window. They're crossing right in the second window, I would say. And here's a perfect example of why you need to wait for your drag to get across the field. Watch where his eyes are now, because he doesn't know if this quarterback's going to throw it or not. You can tell that at practice, it's at any moment. He brings his eyes now back to where that other linebacker is, because guess what? He's worried about him. He's thinking, shoot, where is he? Is he going to smack me? Is he reading this play really, really well? And at this point, Jake, where's the football? Is it out of the quarterback's hands?
Yeah, it's out of the hands.
Yeah, and is he ready?
No.
Nope. So my point proven right there. CDM's having the same issue. The mesh point between where the dig and where the drag is happening. It needs to happen in the first window. Do you guys all understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because when we throw a dig, how many windows ideally can we potentially throw that dig in?
2.
2 and maybe even max 3. Most of the time, the third window happens more in like man-to-man.
If you have enough time to throw it.
Yeah, right. You rarely have enough time to throw that. But
Yeah.
sometimes, if you're lucky, it happens in the third window. So something to think about, and just a concept to remember when throwing your high-lows. You want to make sure that when the high-low is crossing, it's crossing in the first window. So we have at least the first and second window to throw in, because we don't want to cancel out the first window if that's the opening. I think that in this situation here, if that drag can get over sooner, we're throwing this right here before this backer can sink underneath the second window. Whoops, what did I just do? Oh, shoot. Would you guys agree? Please disagree with me, and let's discuss if
Nope.
you do.
You're right.
Thanks, Wyatt. Okay, we got 2. Huh?
I think the quarterback should have made that dig.
I agree. I totally agree.
Right.
I totally agree. I'm just kind of talking about the whole concept, and hey, if I'm talking too much, got to get you guys involved a little bit more too. Okay, so we got 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. We are protected though, because we have 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. Let's see what the play is here. I see 2 high again. Corners are off. They end up bailing. Quarterback read. Here we go. I think this is the right read. The defensive end. I take that back. I think this is a give.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily crashing down the line. Now, if you're Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, I think maybe you have options.
Or MJ.
Or Lucas O'Connor. No, I'm just kidding. I think that's a give. Let your running back go make the play. See if your lineman did a good job blocking, and let your boys do the work. Okay, I'm trying to see if we can get a different defensive look here. Okay, this is the first time the corner has been at 5 yards depth from what I've seen. So he's playing a little bit more underneath. They're also in a different formation though. So Wyatt, I would treat this as when you guys go I formation sometimes, right?
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys go double tight?
No.
No? Okay, so I would treat this just as like, the tight end is now in the game. There's an extra blocker. You could treat him as a fullback. You could treat this as an I formation and how they're going to potentially play you in this. So let's see, how many guys do they have? 5. Really? This is a good run look because I guess you could count him as being in the box, but because this is an inside run, you really only accounted for 6 and you have 7 to block. So it's a pure numbers game. Wish they had a back view so you could see it. We're in trips 3x1 again. This is a good run look, inside run look. This backer is outside of a couple yards outside of the tackle, and we have 6 to block their 5 interior defenders in the box. Okay, they get back there though. The D line makes a good play. Sometimes that happens. Wyatt, do you guys run any RPOs?
Yeah, we have 2.
Okay, what are they? How are they being ran?
So one is trips, right? And then we'll have a one-on-one on the left, just a slant. And we just read the backer.
Okay, this outside backer.
Yep.
Okay, so in this situation here, there is none. Right, so if you imagine that if that's the next backer inside, is he your read?
Yeah.
Next backer inside of
Probably.
the corner, I should say.
So if he blitzes, then I'd throw it, and if he stays back, I'd give it.
Perfect, yeah, simple RPO read.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
So watch how aggressive he is to the run there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that he really gets in there that well. He's not banging any heads or anything. Okay, we got 4 verts. Oh, this is an interesting play. Okay, so sorry, not 4 verts. He ends up sitting in the flat. He's got this curl route, and then what does the inside guy have? Thanks. Wyatt, is your flat there?
Yep.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. And your middle of the field is there too. So this route here kind of does a good job of holding this backer from sinking too much over this. I would consider this almost like a bender, because that's where it's being completed, right in the middle of the field. And maybe this is a read. I don't know. This is a great job by this receiver of just sitting up in this zone. It's a greatly timed throw. And he does a great job of getting outside of what this flat defender or this carrying linebacker. He doesn't even really match him. So Wyatt, if you have 4 verts called here, I would feel very confident with throwing that ball over the middle against their 2 high looks, because I personally don't think that their linebackers do a very good job of matching the inside vertical threats.
Yeah, I think all 3 guys were open there.
I would agree with you. I would say number 3 is not. I would say number 3 is not. I would say 2 and 1 are.
You could maybe make that throw if you put.
You could bang that in there, but I would use that inside. Like, so in this situation, he's coming across a lot flatter. If he was going a little bit more up the field, I would say he's less of a decoy. But this number 3 receiver in this situation is more of a decoy, in my opinion, for number 2. But hey, if you feel like you can bang this throw in there and you can rip that, he's coming in and smacking him. He's reading number 3.
Yeah.
But I would feel very confident in throwing
that curl.
That curl. And then also just like if you had 4 verts called here and he had a bender, making sure that you're holding that backside safety with your eyes to make sure he doesn't drift over during your drop to the middle of the field and take away that bender or that middle of the field threat. And your flat is open again. We've got about 10 minutes left. And before we finish up with these 10 minutes, does anyone have any questions so far? I know this is catered more around Wyatt. I was actually getting ready to shift over to MJ's film now and finish on focusing on MJ.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the post and the dig and the drag, where would you go first? Because we have that play, and we go first, the post and the dig, and we're reading that safety. And if that's not there, come down to the drag.
So what I like to say is, right, because do you feel like it's difficult to bring your eyes to so many places on one play?
I mean, it's harder than just putting my eyes one place.
So what I would think about is when you run it for the first time, work the high-low with the dig and the drag.
Okay.
See how this safety plays it. Because most likely he's going to play over the top the first time. And when you throw that dig a couple times, he might get a little more aggressive. Like in this situation here, I thought this was the play. Maybe it was the one before. When was it? Here it is. It's got to be this one. Yeah. So on this play here, I would say that he bails enough to throw the dig. He breaks on it. But the dig is still a good throw. That's still a first down throw. It's 3rd and 10 right now. So I would say read him first. Read your backer. If you come off the field and the last 2 times, or maybe even just the first time you've thrown it, that safety was super aggressive, let this man know that he's got to win and he's got to beat this guy with speed, because you might be coming to him. Because watch this receiver that's running the post, he immediately looks back for the football. So he's not in a position to really win with speed because he's not continuing to keep his head down the field, right? So even though the safety breaks on this, I don't feel like it necessarily would be the right throw, because he needs to be more aware. Long story short, I'm talking too much. Throw the dig. Work the key on the linebacker first and foremost. And work the safety maybe the second or third time, depending on how he played it the first and second time.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, MJ?
Yeah.
Okay, I think this was the one where they end up. Nope, it's not. There's your post, Wyatt.
Yep. Right there.
You just got to get it. You just got to get it over him. If he sinks, though, don't be greedy. But he's just sitting there. He's in la la land. Got to throw a better ball. Got to keep it in the gut and keep it across the field
Yeah.
early and right out of the break. You have to be aware of where that play side safety is. So right now in this situation, say you have that trips ball and you have to throw that post.
Yep.
What are you doing with your eyes? What 2 players are you progressing? What 2 defenders are you progressing to or through, I should say?
So the safety in the middle
Mhm.
and then the outside backer.
Yeah, so you're going to hold the safety with probably like during the first portion of your play action, during your ride. And then as you feel that confidence that he's stayed there, which most likely he will, especially if you lock eyes with him.
Yeah.
Then we bring our eyes. I just gave you the answer you said earlier too, but
Yep. And then find a lane and throw
this
it.
backer here, yep. And you find a lane, and you got to keep him.
Yeah.
You got to keep him flat.
Yep. He had it.
Okay, so if you see that safety motion or move with the motion, I should say, he's covering him. He's not going to move that aggressively and not cover that motion. So I would be willing to bet that. And then also, I would be willing to bet that if there is no motion, they stay in too high. And with that being said, Wyatt, pay attention to when the field safety or any safety is showing eyes for number 2. Okay?
Yeah.
Make sure you're paying attention to when their safeties are showing eyes for number 2. MJ, this would be another situation, like say, is the tight end? Yes, the tight end is on the right side. Say we have dig drag here with the post. What are his eyes telling you right now?
He's reading number 2.
He's reading number 2. So Jake or MJ, what can this now, after throwing that dig and now seeing that he has eyes for number 2, what can that give you the confidence to potentially throw?
Oh, dude, the post is there.
Right. So now, Jake, this might be a situation where you're going, you know what? I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to key the safety now. He's got eyes for number 2. I feel confident that he's going to break on that dig. I got a one-on-one with that post in that corner. You guys all see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is a very, very common way of playing cover 4 or quarters, where basically the safety plays in a man technique with number 2. And I think Wyatt and MJ, maybe you've heard me talk about this before. They're basically being taught, hey, if you see a breaking route like 10 yards or more, break on it. Outs, digs, curls, corners. They'll follow number 2 and they'll carry with them, play man.
That's their key. Because they'll read number 2. And if he goes vertical, they'll lock on. And if they go anything less than 10 yards, they'll go to number 1.
So let's look really quick. I agree with you, Wyatt. Here we have here's our post. Let's watch this really quick. Their backers, their outside backers are in la la land. You can throw right behind them. Bang, ball.
All right there. Yeah.
Right, despite the fact that he's not necessarily, because the flat's open too. Watch, we got a flat by the running back. Flat's open too. You could throw either or.
For sure.
He's just not really that aware of what's going on. And here we can look on the outs. Let's see. They run that little out sit again with the number 2. Yep. Here's your flat threat again as well. There's your throw here as well. So I love the flats to the field. I love those slants right behind the backers to the boundary. Love the high lows. Love the hitches. Love middle of the field when it's open. Wyatt, do you have any questions?
Nope.
I hope this was helpful and gave you a little bit more insight.
For sure.
Sweet. Dude, they're going to be disciplined and they're going to play what they show you. They are going to do what they do on film. I assure you, they do it every year, and they will give you the underneath throws. When Zevi played them his senior season, threw for like 400 plus, like 6 touchdowns or something like that. I swear 20 of his throws were completed within 3 to 4 yards and turned up the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they're not they don't change up a lot.
No, they do not. No, they do not. And they love to play off. They love to play off because they're not the most athletic.
Yeah. What I'm going to do,
Go ahead.
I'm going to look for the open space pre-snap and find that. And then I'm just going to rip it.
1,000% and feel confident in those zones that we just discussed, okay?
The flats in the middle.
Don't be surprised if they come up and play cover 0 as well.
Please
they have done that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. We're going to finish. It's actually 8:20 now. So we are all finished with tonight's session. Does anyone else have any questions from tonight? You guys all good? Jake, I hope this was informative.
Yeah.
I'll try to get you a little bit more involved next week, but I think this was a good little warm up for you.
Very cool.
All right, MJ, you all good, dude? I don't see your picture anymore, so you might be busy. Oh, you just came back in the room. Guys, you guys are all good to go. Have a good rest of your night. Take care. All right.
You too.
Thank you.
MJ, we're all finished up.
Okay. Have a good night, Coach.
You too. Take care.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome. Wyatt, sorry, what did you say, MJ?
Oh, no, I just said embrace the suck.
Yeah, embrace the suck.
All
right. Take care, dude. Later. Who do you guys, what time is the game?
6:30.
At PV or at Samo?
At PV.
At PV, 6:30.
It's their first night game ever.
Oh, no way. So it's going to be lit.
Yeah, I mean, we're taking it personally because they picked us to be their first night game.
For sure. Absolutely,
They're
man.
going to bring in lights. And,
That's awesome. It's going to be a really, really cool crowd. It's going to be a fun game.
yeah.
Remind yourself, when you're feeling those nerves, to breathe and calm your heartbeat with slow breath and calm breath. You're going to do great. Get rid of the ball quick. Trust your timing. Trust your footwork.
I will.
I think that, let's see, I'm trying to think of some feedback I could give you. I think that I think you could gain a tiny bit more depth on your 5-step footwork as long as you still feel balanced trying to get that depth.
Yeah, coach was it was the first time I ever heard this, but he said to take a shorter drop.
Okay, hey,
Yeah, but
screw what I said then. Screw what I said. Listen to coach. Listen to coach.
Um,
The other thing that I would like to say is really position yourself, especially for quick game, to be in a position to drive the football.
yeah,
Really be loaded to drive that football. Your timing is excellent, but I think that you have the power, the arm strength to be able to throw these footballs to the flats here. And a
Yeah.
lot of teams give you those zones, especially at the high school level, and also just the teams that you guys have been facing. And I want you to take advantage of those because I think it'll what it does is it spreads out the linebackers and it opens up the middle of the field, opens up the digs, opens up the crossing routes. Okay.
yeah,
So really remind yourself in quick game while you're trying to gain that depth, you're trying to get away from the line of scrimmage, make sure you're in, powerful load positions. Work the vertical L drill if you feel like you're needing to gain gain some power back. I think and the mirror drill. I think those are two great simple mechanic drills that you can do in season that don't make you overthink stuff.
yeah. The main two things I've been working on this week are getting the ball off quick because I've been a little bit late and we don't have a lot of time to throw. So
Mhm.
just letting it go
Mm-hmm.
and just trusting that just firing and just ripping it.
Good. That's great to hear. I think
I've been
that's a
working
great
on it.
focus.
Yeah, mentally it's just rip the ball and just yeah. I haven't really been getting nervous, but
Well, that's
so
good.
yeah,
Keep having fun, man. I think like I said in my text, you're doing a
yeah.
great job. You look very poised. You're playing really well. As a quarterback, you have to continue to try to help your offense succeed in the best ways you can. And I think you're doing that. And keep taking those field flats because they're open. All right.
Yep. What are you up to, coach? You?
I am doing those group sessions on the weekend. I'm working on my online app right now and trying to build that. I should actually stop this film recording right now because that's going to be uploaded into Coach IQ.